Welcome to Geek Blender. Today we're going to talk about things that were invented for war, but are now commonplace in your home. The first thing I'm going to discuss is interchangeable parts. Have you ever been to a Renaissance festival or Colonial Williamsburg? How would you like to live like that? Without any of the modern conveniences. And by modern conveniences, I don't mean cell phones and computers. I mean stoves, refrigerators, televisions, washing machines. All of these things are only possible because of interchangeable parts. Now, the first example we have of interchangeable parts dates back 2,000 years ago to the Carthage Navy in the First Punic Wars. The Carthage Empire figured out very quickly how to build ships faster and more efficiently by using standardized parts. By the way, that's your Roman Empire thought for the day. Next, we skip forward to the 18th century, where French gunsmith Honoré Blanc convinced the French government of the feasibility of interchangeable musket parts. Then, in the 19th century, Eli Whitney, who, if you saw my previous video, knows invented the cotton gin, he convinced the U.S. government to fund him to build 10,000 muskets using interchangeable parts. This innovation allowed relatively unskilled workers to quickly and easily assemble weapons. Now, today, all of our modern conveniences are only possible because of interchangeable parts. The next innovation we're going to talk about is canned foods. In 1795, the French government offered a prize for a new way of storing food for the Army and Navy. Nicolas Appert, a French confectioner, discovered that food cooked inside of a glass jar did not spoil unless the seal leaked. In 1810, Peter Durand, a British merchant, patented the use of using tin-plated steel cans instead of glass jars. This innovation made canned foods far more durable and easier to transport. During World War II, canned foods became critical to feeding both troops and civilians, leading to the post-war surge in popularity in the United States of canned foods. Since we're talking about canned foods, let's talk about Spam. Spam, which is a canned meat product from Hormel, takes its name from a contraction of spiced ham. Today, Hawaii is the #1 consumer of Spam in the United States, with residents consuming 7 million cans per year annually. This averages about to 6 cans per person per year. While not a state, Guam has the highest per capita consumption of Spam in the world, with residents consuming approximately 16 cans per person annually. Now, why is this? Well, both Hawaii and Guam were war zones during World War II. Residents quite reasonably feared being cut off from the United States and thus hoarded Spam and other canned foods for fear of food shortages. Those habits still resonate today, where Spam is still hugely popular in both Hawaii and Guam. Let's talk about microwave ovens. In 1940, the cavity magnetron, which generates microwaves, was invented at the Birmingham University in England. This was used for radar in World War II. In 1945, American engineer Percy Spencer, while working for Raytheon, discovered that a chocolate bar in his pocket melted when he was working on microwaves. This led him to experiment with using microwaves to heat food. Raytheon then developed the first microwave ovens. Initially, they were for commercial restaurants, but eventually were sold to consumers. And the original microwave ovens were called radar ranges. In fact, the first microwave oven my family bought was called a radar range. So now, every time you enjoy your microwave popcorn, keep in mind that your radar range is only possible because the Allies wanted to shoot down enemy aircraft during World War II. So zippers are pretty useful, but zippers didn't gain popularity until World War I, when sailors were given money belts with zippered pockets to hold money and small items. World War II saw a surge in popularity of zippers, where it was used for everything from flight suits to uniforms to other military equipment. Then, after World War II, zippers became very commonplace in all kinds of clothing. Now, there's an interesting sports aspect to this. In 1923, the B.F. Goodrich Company marketed a galosh, which is another word for a rubber overshoe that you put over your shoes to keep them from getting wet or muddy. And that galosh had a zipper on the side and was marketed under the brand name Zipper. And that was in 1923. In 1925, the University of Akron, which was located near the B.F. Goodrich Company in Akron, Ohio, was looking for a new team mascot, a new team name, and they selected to call their team name the Zippers. In 1950, that was changed to Zip, and in 1954, an actual mascot was chosen, and it was a kangaroo with a boxing glove. And the boxing glove had, you guessed it, a zipper. If you own a home, I bet I could go into your garage right now and find at least one can of WD-40. WD-40 was a product of the Cold War. In 1953, the Rocket Chemical Company of San Diego, California, set out to create a line of degreasers and water and solvents for the aerospace industry. They eventually settled on WD-40, which stands for Water Displacement 40th Formula. In other words, it was their 40th attempt at finding a useful product. Initially, WD-40 was used to keep the skins of Atlas missiles, which were ICBMs, rust-free when they were sitting in missile silos. They quickly realized the workers were stealing cans of WD-40 and were taking it home and using it for all kinds of things. They realized they had a product on their hands. They quickly productized it, and by 1958, it was in stores in Southern California and then spread worldwide. Now, the formula for WD-40 has never been patented, because to patent it, they would have to reveal the actual chemical composition. And after 20 years, which is a patent lifetime, any other company would be free to make a similar product with the exact same functionality. So instead of patenting it, they made it a trade secret, which it remains today. So next time you use WD-40 to spray on a squeaky hinge, or you use it to loosen a rust, or whatever the thousands of things it's used for, be thankful for the Cold War. Because without the Cold War, you wouldn't have WD-40. Let's talk about duct tape. Now, duct tape is an amazing product. It's used for all kinds of things. You can patch things with it. You can seal things with it. You can use it to hold things together. You can use it for childcare. It has all kinds of amazing uses. But duct tape was invented in 1942 by Vesta Stout, who worked in an ammunition plant. And she invented duct tape as a way to seal ammunition boxes. Now, this led to Johnson & Johnson adopting the product and creating the first commercial duct tape. Now, when it was invented, it was not called duct tape with a T. It was called duct tape with a K. Now, I knew that, but I always assumed it was because a duck is waterproof and duct tape is waterproof. Therefore, it makes sense to call it duct tape. But it actually has nothing to do with ducks. It was called duct tape with a K because the fabric part of the tape was originally made with a fabric called duck cloth. Now, duck cloth itself, again, has nothing to do with ducks. Duck cloth is called duck cloth because it's the anglicized version of a Dutch word, doek, which means linen cloth, literally. So that's why it was originally called duct tape with a K. Now, over time, it started to be adopted by people that do duct work with a T, and so over time, the name changed to duct tape with a T. Ironically, it's no longer recommended to use duct tape for ductwork because the glue degrades and then the seals don't hold. So today, most ductwork is done with either mastic or a specialized HVAC tape, not the duct tape we're all used to. So there you go. Now you know the World War II history of your favorite childcare product, duct tape. Superglue is a very useful product. Superglue, or as its chemical name is cyanoacrylate, was originally invented in 1942 by Dr. Harry Coover, working for the Eastman Kodak Company. He invented superglue while working on clear plastic gun sights for World War II. He felt the product was too sticky to work with and set it aside. In 1951, Dr. Coover revisited cyanoacrylates while working on heat-resistant jet canopies. He quickly realized that it was very useful for its adhesive properties. In 1958, Eastman Kodak developed the first commercial cyanoacrylate product, which was initially brand named Eastman 910. It was later renamed Superglue, and the product took off in the form you see it today. In the Vietnam War, superglue was deployed as a way to do field suturing, and today it's still used for medical suturing, and it's used for all kinds of other purposes. So there you go. You have an amazing product invented for World War II, used in other wars, and now is in your home. Well, there you go. I hope you've enjoyed learning about all of the wonderful and interesting products that were originally designed for war, but now have found their way into your household. If you liked this video, please hit the like button. It really helps the YouTube algorithm and really helps me out. If you'd like to see more of this kind of content, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you in the next video.
Oh, you're saying, give war a chance!
You mean